Like Purdue, it's just an example. Purdue losing to Fresno State is okay. We still win the Big Ten West. But me,
Billy Napier gets fired. I'm just kidding.
Really the best time of the year. I will be seated watching Red Zone for 7 hours on Sunday.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Backyard Banter. Johnny, James, Tanner. We're going to start up a little differently this time. We're going to start with college basketball. There's some phenomenal games last night. Both my team and Tanner's team picked up a big dub. Illinois picked up a big dub earlier this week. Also, but this weekend, we briefly talked about it on Tuesday's episode, one of the biggest college basketball weekends of the entire year before March Madness and conference tournaments. So, Teaster, what are the games looking like?
I think we got 4 top 10 matchups Saturday and Sunday. 3 on Saturday. The big one's going to be Duke at Carolina, that big rivalry.
Yeah, 14th time this has been a top 10 matchup.
Unreal.
Yeah, it just shows
Blue Bloods, man.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But, big one there. And then we got Houston, Kansas. I think Kansas overrated. I think Houston's a little bit overrated too, but I still think
Houston guards, though.
Oh
my goodness, they guard.
They're still good.
They're unreal defensively.
Yeah, you know how much I love defense.
Yeah.
Houston guards you. They were... For the first half of the Texas game, Texas was in prison on offense.
Well, shout out to Mason. Mason Sobias texted us today and said that they are on track to have the best defensive percentage and just efficiency in college basketball history. Yeah, and that is incredible. Especially, we talk about the NBA having all this talent. There's a ton of talent in college too, and the fact that they are able to sit down and guard. Like Johnny talks about it all the time, off camera, on camera. Like being able to guard somebody, obviously at this level and with how much talent there is in the world. So shout out to Houston, man. And they do it year after year. But now, getting that Big 12 where you're gonna have to start guarding some better dudes. Shout out to Mason Sobias for that little stat that he threw our way.
Yeah, and I saw a thing as well on Houston. So there's this one guy. He's very good at looking at college basketball, all the stats and combining them and putting them on a chart. He said there's this trapezoid of success that the last, I think, 20 national champions have fallen into on the trapezoid of success, and they're barely in it on offense because their pace is so slow, but they're so efficient with how they play on offense that they fall into that category. Yeah. So, Houston definitely...
I think I saw that TikTok, and I think Purdue's in there too.
Purdue's right in the middle. Yeah, but no, we'll get into Purdue in a little bit. But the other top 10 game is Kentucky and Tennessee, both coming off losses.
Yeah.
Home losses, so interesting one there Saturday, but still a big game in the SEC for those two teams. And then the fourth one is on Sunday. My Boilers take on Wisconsin. Wisconsin's ranked 6th. That is at the Kohl Center in Madison. Cannot wait for that. I hope Wisconsin does not fall into the trap game against Nebraska. I want to play them when they're on a win streak, and we're on a win streak. I want to play them when they're at their best.
And I think that game tonight is, tonight Nebraska takes on Wisconsin. But I think what's awesome, you were just saying all these games, they're all in different conferences, right? Yeah. We got an ACC showdown, we got a Big 12 showdown, we've got a Big 10 showdown, we got an SEC showdown. It's great, and it's amazing because I feel like in football, in college football, everyone knows the SEC is just dominant. But for college basketball, you look back and you're like, man, who knows? Who knows what conference? You look at last year's national championship. You had UConn versus San Diego State.
FAU was in the Final Four.
Unreal, right? That's unreal. You won't see that in football. Maybe with them expanding to this 12 team, you might see some of those weird teams get in. But college basketball, man, it's incredible because it goes back to the level of talent. There's so much talent in the world now that guys at FAU can hoop. Guys at San Diego State can hoop. You talk about New Mexico all the time. They've got dudes that can hoop, right? So, it's incredible. College basketball is flat out amazing, and it's one of my favorite things to watch.
Yeah, the thing that I like about all of this, it's really the two best teams in each conference, and those conferences that you said playing. I know Kentucky's lost to Florida, and Tennessee lost to South Carolina, but Tennessee is one of the better teams I've seen. Kentucky still, even after the loss, didn't have DJ Wagner. Their starting point guard, still one of the better teams that I've seen. Obviously, Purdue and Wisconsin speak for themselves. It's an incredible weekend. We talked about last episode. No football this weekend besides the Pro Bowl. It's not real football, and
it's flag football.
It's just satisfying to see. I always love Duke Carolina. We always talk about it in football. It's a helmet game. I guess you can call this a jersey game. I mean, there's just so much history, so much legacy. When I was a kid, I vividly remember Austin Rivers' game winner in Chapel Hill. Down to, and 10-year-old me will go out there and recreate that shot. It's just such a memory, and there's so many of those from each side. So obviously Duke Carolina on game day is going to be there, one of the biggest atmospheres. But you guys talked about the depth of talent. Just look at Florida last night. Went into Rupp and won. Their two best players are Walter Clayton Jr., came from Iona, mid-major guy. Zion Pullen, Long Beach State.
Yeah.
4-year starter there. Both guys well over 1,000 points. It just shows the depth and talent because, I mean, Walter Clayton hit the 3, sent it to overtime. Zion Pullen had 21 and 7. He's averaging over 5 assists a game, almost besides him and Reed Shepherd, the two leaders in the SEC. It just goes to the talent in college basketball is so good. And your beloved New Mexico State lost.
New Mexico.
My bad.
They lost to Boise State, who's another
tournament
team probably, but yeah, tough loss for the Lobos last night. I didn't watch it. It's probably why they lost.
Probably
I wasn't tuned in.
Yeah,
but Mountain West still a good conference. I think they're gonna get probably 5 teams in, and the Big Ten's gonna get like 6, which is incredible to me. And I actually kind of wanted to say this take today. I think the Big Ten is criminally underrated because of people saying how bad it is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's great, but people are saying it's awful. And the reason people are saying that is the Big Ten in past years getting 8-9 teams in the tournament. They're not this year. The depth is definitely lacks in the Big Ten. But I think the Big Ten has 6 really good teams. And I think the Big Ten is going to get 3 or 4 teams in the second weekend.
I think that's the issue, right? The issue with the Big Ten, everyone, obviously I'm a Big Ten fan too. We've seen it all. The issue is the one team that we think can win a national championship has just shown that they can't perform in March, right? Mm-hmm. And I hate to say it, but if I were to pick somebody to win a national championship, Purdue is probably the second pick that I'm picking this year. And I just think that their ability to win the big games, right? Whatever. I'm sure we'll get into that. But the thing is, I just don't see how many. There's only one team in the Big Ten that I think can win a national championship. I think there's 3 or 4 teams that can 100% make it to the Sweet 16, including Northwestern. I think Illinois, if they get hot, can get there too, and obviously Wisconsin as well. So I totally agree. Last year, I think there was 9 Big Ten teams, and they obviously did not do well, and so that they just get a bad rep. But I think the Big Ten is a good year. The teams that are going to get in are going to make it, I think, pretty far. Yeah. And so I totally agree with that take. I don't think it's
that wild of a take. I think people are kind of hating on the Big Ten a little bit because the traditional blue bloods are down.
Yeah.
Michigan State still won't make the tournament, but they're preseason top 5, if I'm not mistaken.
4,
yeah. I mean, Juwan Howard is a mess over at Michigan. Michigan was in a game away from the Final Four a few years ago. Has made the title games 2 times during the 2010s. Yep. I mean, they're normally good. Ohio State, Aaron Kraft, they're really good. Greg Oden, Mike Conley, they were in the title game, lost to Florida. But they were, again, normally pretty good, normally in the tournament picture. And now, I mean, they're terrible. All 3 of those teams are, 2 of them probably won't make the tournament. Other one's a bubble team. And then you still got Minnesota, who's they've been better of late, but still. Minnesota hasn't
not
been,
great.
They're not great.
No.
I mean, Northwestern before this kind of resurgence under Chris Collins, really bad in years past. So it's kind of weird that, Northwestern is going to be maybe a 6 seed around there, 6 to 8 seed, and then Michigan Ohio State is not making the tournament this year. So, no, I don't hate that. I think Boo Buie, we said RJ Davis, one of the best guards. Shout out to Jackson Dion. He said Boo Buie. Completely agree with that. Boo Buie's a stud. He can play. But I think the Big Ten still, I would put them 4th if I were to rank conferences, just because the Big 12 is historically great this year. The SEC is really deep. Besides, we talked about besides Missouri and Vanderbilt, anyone can beat anyone. And then obviously the Big East is what it is. But no, I don't hate that. There's just so much talent in college basketball this year. The 68 teams, that there could be easily the 70th team could make a run. That's kind of how deep college basketball is this year.
Yeah, I saw a stat. Amongst the Big 12 teams, if you take Kansas out and it's the rest of their projected tournament teams right now, the best non-conference win amongst the 9 teams is Kansas State's win over Seton Hall.
Yeah,
that's just right. Baylor beat Auburn.
I mean, I think Baylor might have been out of it too. because Baylor and Kansas.
If you take the 2 best teams out of the
Big
12,
I'm just saying it just goes to show the Big 12 doesn't really outside of their powerhouses. They don't really go and play anybody.
I agree. I totally agree. I think the SEC is one of. I know you're a beloved SEC guy and everything, but you think of the teams like Tennessee, great. Kentucky, great. Those are 2 teams that I would not be surprised if I see in the Elite Eight, and if not further, right? Those 2 teams I've been big on all year. But besides that, dude, I'm not really locked in on Ole Miss or Auburn. Like I think they're
should
I
be
think
locked in
I
on
think
Auburn
they're I think they're
and
very
Alabama.
good. I think they're very good. I just think Auburn just hit this stride, and I do think Alabama's back. I agree. I think Alabama's really finding their step, and they're really going to get going. But I don't know. I just don't see it. Just like as much as the Big Ten, I look at the SEC. I only see 2 teams that can win a national championship. I don't see anything
I don't
else.
know if
Here's the thing: when I look at the Big East, I see again like a couple. And you're talking about a smaller conference. The Big East has 2 legitimate like national championship caliber teams, like if not more. Like you can put Creighton in there. You can put Creighton, Marquette, UConn. Like the Big East is unreal, man, and it's been great to watch. Like because any given day, it's like we talk about any given Sunday, right? Any given day in the Big East, someone can go down. Seton Hall's pulled out some miracle wins. Like Georgetown, we thought they were awful. They go beat, like they stick it in there, and obviously it's a kind of like a trap game probably for Providence and everything. But I love the Big East. I think it's the best conference for me. I think they're going to produce a national champion. That's a little sneak preview into my national champion pick. But I don't know. I love college basketball right now. It's the gritty time. It's February. We got a month left before we start picking up and filling out our brackets for conference championships and all that, and then we get into the really gritty time and see who Purdue faces as a 16 seed.
Yeah. Out of the Big East, I like St. John's. I think
they're good too.
I think they're poised to make a deep tournament run.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that. They got a lot of good players. They got a good coach.
Rick Pitino guards, man.
Yeah.
He
Shout out
always
Walter
does.
Clayton.
Yeah.
He's always got good guards. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's we talked about it, just the depth in each conference.
Yep.
It's just
Unreal.
I don't know. It's the best time. I love nothing more than conference tournament weekend, everything like that. It's just, I mean, there's 6 legit conferences that can send someone to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just would like to make a quick comparison for Alabama here. So they remind me of that 2019 Purdue team a lot because Purdue had Carson Edwards and then they had a bunch of questions everywhere and started off really bad. Purdue was like 9-6, like. At one point, they weren't in the tournament.
Yeah.
And then they turned it on in January because Alabama has Mark Sears, who can take over any game.
Man, he's unreal.
He reminds me of Carson Edwards a lot. He's a left-handed Carson Edwards.
Sniper, yeah.
And so Alabama's hot. Purdue got hot. Purdue ended up being a 3 seed, almost made the Final Four, a couple seconds away. But I think Alabama's going to make a similar run in the tournament as that Purdue team. Because they just shoot a lot of threes, and they got a guard who can score from anywhere.
Yeah, but again, we talk about defense. They don't guard. They haven't guarded a lot. Even with Brandon Miller's team last year, didn't guard at the highest.
Sears is unreal, though.
Yeah, no, he's really good. But I don't know. Carson Edwards was unconscious during that.
that was a different kind of human being back then. Yeah,
but we'll see. College basketball is starting to heat up much more on that coming up, especially in March.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go into some NFL, but we're going to talk about. Maybe we might not go through every team, but we're going to go through a lot of the high-profile teams. We're going to start with our own teams. We're going to say what they need to do in the offseason. We think to maybe take that step forward or even stay where they are and not fall back a few steps. So we'll start with the Bears. What is the one thing that you guys need to see from the Bears this offseason to be contenders in the North?
Well, there's multiple things.
Yeah, well, multiple.
Multiple things, but it all starts, for me, as the days go by, I'm not saying I want Caleb Williams, but I'm accepting that idea a little bit more as the days
That
go
is
by.
a big
I
step.
still lean.
I'm proud of you.
I
mean, you're maturing in front of our
I
eyes.
still lean one way. I still would much rather have Justin Fields.
Yeah.
But for me, if I'm Ryan Poles right now, what I'm doing is teams call me and I'm saying, Caleb Williams is my guy. And if you want him, you're going to have to give up the biggest trade in NFL history for him. And I'm saying that all the way until April, until a team gets desperate and they do make that offer. And I'm accepting that offer. That's what I would do. I would make sure that if you're not going to take Caleb Williams, it is the biggest, most one-sided trade in NFL history.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. What the Bears decide to do all depends on what they do with the number 1 pick and or Justin Fields. Because if we talk about who's calling, I'm sure Ryan Poles' phone's blowing up because nobody knows what we're doing. Like, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know if Justin's our guy. Like, Ryan Poles has maybe hinted at it, but at some points he hints that Caleb Williams is like a god, right? And so I am interested to see what we can get for Justin Fields because he's good enough to where teams might want him, especially like the Falcons and in those teams who yes, a Justin Fields is 100% upgrade from Desmond Ridder. Like that is, Justin Fields isn't going to go to one of these superstar teams and kick out their quarterback, but he's going to be better than Desmond Ridder. He's going to be better than a couple other guys. But
Kenny Pickett.
Then Kenny Pickett. But the question is, what can we get for Justin Fields? Because if it's not worth it, then I don't know. Because and that's where it all stems from. I think no matter what, we're going to use one of our first picks with a wide receiver talent. I think that, to me, is pretty clear. I think whether it's Marvin Harrison or Odunze, and then maybe even getting, like an offensive lineman like Joe Alt from Notre Dame, obviously big guy, hopefully that'd be sick. I just don't know, because it all stems with this quarterback position. It's the most important position in football, and I just don't think we have a clear, obviously Ryan Poles might have an idea of what we're doing, but Caleb Williams, year after year, these last 2 years, has been undoubtedly the first pick overall. There is a reason for that, and that is the big reason why I'm okay with drafting him. Because, man, if he's a bust, I'm not going to criticize Ryan Poles for him being a bust. He's like one of those guys where you can't be upset if he's a bust, because it's just, he's undoubted. Like, people were saying let's tank for him like last year. They wanted to tank, and he couldn't even declare for the draft last year. So. A lot of question marks for me with the quarterback situation. Defensively, we need some help. I think the secondary's got some question marks. How much are you going to pay him, right? Because Jalen Johnson.
Well, you have all the cap room in the world.
Here's my issue with Jalen Johnson. He put up numbers that were very good, and I said it as a Bears fan. Half of his picks, I wish he just dropped. Because it seemed like a quarter of his picks were on fourth downs, where if you just drop the ball, we get better field position. Obviously, 100%, bro. I've never played corner in my life, believe it or not. I'm not a corner. But if a ball's coming my way, I'm catching it. But those just go to, obviously on fourth down, the quarterback's going to try to make a throw, whatever. Jalen Johnson's a hell of a talent. I'm not going to deny it. The question is, how much are you going to have to pay him? How much of that cap are you going to have to use? Because you've got other holes. The offensive line is a big hole, and we've got to figure out something. I think it was better. Darnell Wright seemed to have been the correct pick, which obviously, man, the Bears hit, right? The Bears hit on a good draft pick. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see what Tanner thinks about the defense. I think it showed signs under Matt Eberflus.
Maybe an edge rusher opposed to
yeah,
Sweat. I think that might be
They're talking Chase Young, possibly.
No,
I saw that rumor, and I don't know if I want it.
I think it's going to be Brian Burns.
Yeah.
The new D coordinator.
I would throw a bag at Brian Burns.
The new D coordinator has a lot of connections to Brian Burns.
That would be awesome.
I think Brian Burns. I'm not going to say over 50% chance, but there's a good chance he becomes a Chicago Bear. And I think that's where it starts. I think it starts with him and re-signing Jalen Johnson. What I would like to bring up is Cody Whitehair and Eddie Jackson. You cut those two guys. You mentioned the cap space; they get even more. That's $28 million right there.
They need to capitalize on not having to pay a quarterback.
Yeah.
And if they draft Caleb Williams, it resets that clock. You get another 4 or 5 years. If I was a team, especially the Falcons, I'm not giving up pick 11 for Justin Fields. I've seen that going around. I just would not. Justin Fields is someone. There's a reason why a team is moving off him. So why would you give up a premier pick? If, for example, if the Steelers, I know they don't, but if the Steelers were to have the 31st or 32nd pick, then I'd be okay with giving that up. But I'm not giving up a top 20 draft pick for Justin Fields. I'm not giving up my first round pick.
I think they will, though.
I don't think so.
You're not going to get a better quarterback at 11 than Justin Fields.
And
at that point, you're going to ride with Desmond Ridder.
But then it's not that. It's Justin Fields, and you get him for 1 year before you have to pay him. Or 1 or 2 years. Was that year 3 last year for Fields?
Year 3, yeah.
So that means you have year 4, the 5th year option, which is over $25 million for a quarterback, and then you got to pay him.
But if you don't make a trade for a quarterback, then you're telling your fans, "Hey, we're gonna suffer for 1 more year."
I would rather sit there and it'll be Drake May, Caleb Williams going to go 1-2. If Jaden Daniels probably going to go top 10, I would pick a Michael Penix over Justin Fields, just over the fact that you have more time to see. And Justin Fields, it could be, year 1 is still the same guy. He's a really good runner, still makes inconsistent plays, but all of a sudden, now we have to pay him? Are we giving this guy $30 million a year?
Yeah.
So
I have a rebuttal to the paying Fields argument. If we were to keep Fields, our draft capital, which is already insanely good,
it would get better. I'm saying
course.
for a team that would trade for him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Bears. For a team that would give up such a premium draft pick.
Yeah.
If Christian McCaffrey only got, I know he didn't get a first-round pick. I think it was 2 seconds from the Niners to the Panthers. I refuse to believe that Justin Fields is going to get a top 15 pick in return for him. But now we're going to move on to the Bucks. This year, actually, the Bucks were in cap hell. People kind of forget Baker Mayfield signed for $4 million base contract before all the incentives kicked in. We paid for the Tom Brady years. If we had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing. You have a chance to win a Super Bowl, you go get it. That Super Bowl, that 2020-21 Super Bowl is going to hang forever in Raymond James. But now, a little bit more flexibility this year with the cap. I think the first thing you got to do, got to get Mike Evans back. He's been the face of the franchise for me ever since I've really had memories of the Bucs. It's been Mike Evans. I think you can get him back on a 3-year deal, around maybe $24-26 million. I know it's tough, but he's only gotten better with age. Sure. So I think that would be priority number one. Priority number two, give Baker a Geno Smith type contract. I'm not giving Baker $40 million a year. I'm not giving him the Daniel Jones contract. If we can get him on that Geno Smith type deal, I would love that.
What did they give Geno, 20?
It was 20. I think it was 25 to 28 over with some incentives, and then over 3 years. So that's 3 years.
Which I still thought was a big contract for Geno Smith. But.
So 3 years in that 80 to 85 million. I'm not sure what that equates out to, but within that 25, 28 million dollars, that's what I'd give Baker. And then you got to re-sign Antoine Winfield, whether that's with the franchise tag, whether that's a new contract. You can't let him go. Without him, the Bucks probably lose 3 or 4 extra games. That is how valuable he is, and that's crazy to say from a safety, because I remember everything that happened with the Jamal Adams trade to the Seahawks, and I was like, how could you ever give up such a premium pick for a safety?
Yeah.
And now I see why Antoine Winfield Jr. is the backbone of the defense. He's everything that you would want in a defensive leader. And then fourthly, I'd re-sign Tristan Wirfs. If you can re-sign him before he gets on that 5th-year option, the cap goes down, the cap hit goes down. Obviously, he's coming back regardless next year with us on that 5th year or that new deal. But again, if you can re-sign him, he's going to probably be the highest paid tackle. If you can get him, I saw a post today around 24 to 26, kind of same as Mike Evans. You got to do it. Franchise left tackle, those guys don't grow on trees. And then, unfortunately, it probably means you got to cut Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett led the league in sacks a few years ago, but it's tough. Such a good locker room guy, such a good teammate.
Yeah, for sure.
The tragedy with his daughter in the offseason, you guys might not know, his daughter tragically drowned in their Tampa home, and the Bucs really rallied around him. So it's just a tough situation. He said after the playoff game, the Lions game, that he knows it's business, stuff can happen. But yeah, if you cut him, and then you still have, if all those things, that's an ideal world. Right, Mike Evans could go home and sign with the Houston Texans. He's from the Texas area, from the Houston area, from Galveston. Yeah, I mean that's appealing to him. But I don't know. Those are kind of my top 4 things for the Bucs to do. And then in the draft, get more edge help. Yaya Diaby was really good this year. Someone to put along the other side of him if they do cut Shaq Barrett. Joe Tron-Steranko, who they spent their 1st-round pick with a few years ago, just hasn't really been hasn't really produced. He's very versatile. You can play him anywhere, but he's not a go-get-him edge rusher. So I maybe say look for that. And then secondary help. Jamal Dean and Carlton Davis get hurt, one of them at least every game. Zion McCollum was really good, but you can see right when the playoff game happened, they were attacking him. Right when it went in, they hit the pass to Amon-Ra over Zion McCollum right when Jamal Dean went out. So I would help in the secondary. I would maybe another safety opposite of Antoine Winfield. And then what are you going to do at linebacker? I would also, number 5 in that list, maybe even above re-sign Tristan Wirfs, is somehow get Levante David back. I don't know if he's going to retire. I don't know. He played on, it was a $4 to $5 million contract this year. For what he did was dirt cheap.
And he's old,
He's old. He's 34, but so productive last year. Has not lost a step. Devin White's probably out the door. KJ Brett did okay replacing him, but he's not the coverage guy that Devin White is. I think linebacker is a big need, and then guard on the offense line is a big need
breakdown
for the Bucs.
Good breakdown. Yeah,
I've been locked in.
Are the Bucs hiring new GM? Because
no, not new GM, new offense coordinator. They're interviewing.
There you go.
They've interviewed.
Have you put your resume under the door?
Look, guys, I was runner up twice in the flag football league. So come on,
I trust you.
But yeah, I mean, whoever the Bucs hire with the offense coordinator, it's tough for Baker. I really wanted OC back, Dave Canales back for another year, but it's tough, right? He came from being this first year calling plays since high school this year. Now he gets a chance to be a head coach with a new quarterback.
Yep.
But I feel bad for Baker. He finally really got comfortable with the system. Now it's an entirely new system. So we'll see what the Bucs decide to do there. I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on coordinators or QB coaches or anyone coming up the ranks in offense coordinator, but I kind of trust Jason Light. He's been there for a while and done a lot of good stuff through the draft, and Todd Bowles. as much as he's such a bad game manager, he's a pretty good X's and O's guy.
Yeah.
So, I trust him in what he's going to do with the OC.
Both of our teams got to get a little better. Bears
Yeah.
much better, but
I've been wanting to say this for really ever since he got hired now, a couple episodes. I love the Bears OC hire.
Yep.
Regardless who we get at quarterback. I saw a stat when he's been put in 2nd and 7 or longer, he has converted without punting 77% of the time.
Big
Yeah.
time.
That's a
It's
really good number.
and obviously he had weapons,
Yeah.
right? He had some
Yeah.
weapons out in Seattle, but
He fixed Geno Smith.
100%. Like that's the
Him
thing.
and
He
Dave
took
Canales.
Geno.
Dave Canales
He
was
took
in
Geno
that-
Smith
in that QB
Yeah.
room.
He took Geno Smith and let Geno get paid. Like that's truthfully what happened.
Yeah.
And sure, like DK is unreal. Tyler Lockett's kind of dwindling down, but he's still
the Bears are right
a very
there with
good.
the
But
same
100%, there's no
receivers.
reason the Bears can't do exactly what the Seahawks did offensively. I totally agree.
It's time for everyone's favorite part of the week. Play the music. It's time for trivia.
Do we have music?
We should
Do
add
music?
music.
Alright.
Don't add that one. Don't add that
I
one.
like the family.
That's a good show.
Anyway, Mayo's already told us he's got some great topics for us this week. So lay it on to us. If you guys are playing at home, play alongside with us. And while we're here, if you're currently watching right now, subscribe. I think we gained 6 subscribers from our last episode. So, we're approaching 300. Big stuff planned for when we hit 300.
I'm predicting a legacy day for your boy.
Yeah? I like you did trivia-wise for James.
just
So
saying.
Mayo, feed us some trivia.
Alright, so the categories these are all season-based stats, so for whichever sport. So we have an NFL category, 1 to 300, same with NBA. And then we have a special Benedictine University category,
Yeah.
where we all go to school.
Let's go.
So, who will go
I
first?
have literally never gone first.
Alright, I'll let Johnny
You can let him go first.
Johnny can go first, Tanner can go second, James can go first.
I'll try the new category. I'll go Ben U for 100.
Ben, you
Granted,
go.
just want to clarify. You have to say correct or not correct, and then we
Yeah.
can banter.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
You have to let me get the response.
Just because, I never really know the question, but I feel like today I might be able to steal some of these.
Alright, Ben, you for 100 points. For our basketball team, who leads the team in points at 15.4 points per game?
That is Mr. Trevor Montiel.
That is
Mr.
correct.
1,000-point club. Shout out Trev.
Can you name who's second? Not for extra points.
Stokes.
At how much?
13.4.
15.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yep.
Yeah,
Is
he's
he up there now?
15.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
good. Shout out Stokes, man. He's
Yeah.
been playing really well
Yeah,
recently.
It
man.
was very close.
Yeah.
Alright, Tanner.
Good job, man.
Thanks, man.
Hey,
Yeah, good
NFL
start.
for 200.
All right.
I'm sorry.
NFL for 200.
NFL for 200. Christian McCaffrey led the NFL in rushing yards with 1,459 this season. Who was second with 1,167?
I feel like I should know this.
It was tough because there wasn't a lot of strong rushers this year.
There just wasn't.
Big gap.
Yeah.
Over 300 yards.
Kyron Williams was hurt.
Yeah, that's who my first guess was, or thought was. Do you know it?
I'm
No, I'm
gonna,
thinking
Yeah, me too.
because I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Saquon Barkley.
I think you missed.
Incorrect.
Yeah, no.
Banter. I'll give it a shot here. So I'm trying to. It was weird because I literally saw a stat that it was like the least amount of 1,000-yard rushers.
Yeah.
I forgot the year, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
God, this is tough.
Did you think of someone?
Did you? I don't know. Mine immediately thought went to Kyron Williams too, but he missed a lot of time. Oh my God, I'm literally only thinking of the NFC South. This is
Come on, can we get a time clock?
5, 4, 3.
Josh Jacobs.
Incorrect.
That was
Yeah,
last
I'm
year.
in between two names right now. Okay,
Lay 'em on me.
Derrick Henry
Okay.
and Kyron Williams. I think Kyron Williams. Yes, he was hurt, but he teed up. He teed up. And maybe both of those, neither of them picked. I think Derrick Henry got over 1,000. I think I'm actually 95% sure he got over 1,000.
He
3, 2.
I'm gonna pick the Notre Dame
One.
fellow, Kyron Williams.
No.
Was it Derrick Henry?
was Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Really?
Ah,
That's
fucking
surprising
bad.
because he
Because I think
missed-
Kyron got over 1,000
he-
too.
Derrick
He
Henry.
was third.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about Derrick Henry because he missed some games.
yeah, but he.
I was thinking David Montgomery a little bit.
No.
too.
I went there
Dude,
too.
you had
I did.
that.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
I don't look stupid on the pod, right? Like I.
No, you were
Yeah.
3-2.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. You had the
All
best
right.
guess out of anyone.
Now you get to go again.
What's the third category? I forgot.
NBA, NFL, Ben.
Okay. I'm gonna go NFL for 300.
NFL for 300.
Just spice it up a little bit.
Puka Nacua led all rookie receivers in receiving yards at 1,486. Who was second at a big difference of 911 yards?
Oh man. See, I'm thinking of a name, but I don't know if he was a rookie. that's the issue. Man, see, it's my question, so I can't get any hints from you guys.
It is your question.
No way it was him. Zay Flowers.
Incorrect.
Banter.
3, 2, 1. Incorrect.
Banter. Jordan Addison.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Hey, so I was thinking of another name, and he's not a rookie. That's why I didn't say it. Nico Collins is not a rookie, correct?
No, I think it's
Second year? Okay.
Tank Dell was the rookie.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
I get those two confused. That's valid too.
Tank Dell was up there.
You guys, by the way, should have.
Who did I even say? I forgot. Who did I say? Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He was
he
up there?
was up there too.
Yeah. James, we're doing an NBA grid on Saturday night, and James was getting the most outrageous guesses.
I'm
I'm
goated.
So just so we don't get anything mixed up, James, trust me, he knows his ball.
Hey,
I'll do.
I appreciate
of
that.
course.
Thank you, man.
I'll do Ben U for 200. I like this.
Ben, you for 200.
I'm just scared because I don't want to
Yeah,
look
I
like
don't
an
wanna get it
idiot
wrong
answering
either.
these.
Who leads the team in blocks this season at 21?
That's Stokes. Yeah,
Correct.
I actually looked at that this morning because
Howie had a great game.
Because Howie had shout out Nick
He
Howard.
was 2 behind.
Yeah, Howie had a fantastic defensive game yesterday, but so I actually checked that this morning.
Man, you're on a roll,
Shout
man.
out Stokes, man.
What's he at? 500?
No more.
6, and you guys wrote that 0. Big points here, T.
He's pissed.
I
This guy's
a
pissed.
millisecond away from 300.
He also went before, so he should have gotten the tech.
Yeah. Let me get NBA for 300.
There you
Ooh,
go.
there it is.
It's a tough one. Who's leading the NBA in steals per game at 2.2 this
That's
season?
tough.
Oh, man, I don't. Your guess is better than mine. I mean,
You know what? I'm feeling generous. He plays in the West.
that's a good
That
hint.
really narrowed
That is a
that
good
down.
hint. That is a good hint.
I was gonna guess Drew Holiday.
I was going to guess somebody on the East, probably. Just
2.2 steals
That's a lot of steals.
per game. It's got it. I mean, the Grizzlies defend well. The Timberwolves.
The Grizzlies,
Is it?
not the Grizzlies. This
Grizzlies
year,
are one of the worst teams in the
Is
Grizzlies.
it? Anthony Edwards.
Incorrect.
That's a good guess. I like that
That's a
guess.
good guess.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's at, but that seems like he could.
I guess I'll guess
Who's
Banter.
going to say Banter first?
Um,
I have a pick.
Yeah, sticking in the West, like Tanner said, good defensive teams. The Grizzlies are the best. Last time I checked, the best defensive team.
But they're so bad.
Might have gone down a little bit. Let me guess. The only name that's coming to mind is Kawhi Leonard. He's had a great year this year.
Incorrect.
Okay.
I'll take that guess. He's had.
I'll
Kawhi Leonard's
throw
had
a
great
name.
bounce back.
Are you going to give any more hints, since we're on the third?
No.
All right. Does he play in California?
we just said no to any more hints.
But I
Yeah,
didn't.
there's your hint. He doesn't play in California.
Okay, so there goes the pick I was going to say. Okay. When he said Anthony Edwards, Mayo kind of had a face. Like, he might be on the Timberwolves. It just might not be Anthony Edwards.
Do you know who their point
The
guard is?
problem is, I don't
We
know
saw him
who
play
else
live.
plays.
We saw him play live. I already mentioned him in the podcast.
Oh, I know who the punter is.
Okay, so it's not him.
It's not my comment.
It is not.
It's not my comment.
I originally thought my comment.
Just hold on. Give me 10 seconds because I'm
Five.
thinking of a team and I'm just gonna say some random
4.
person. Okay.
3.
Okay.
2. 1.
I don't care.
No. Guess. 5.
Steph Curry.
Give me 2 more. It doesn't count for points, but give me 2 more.
Sure.
Is it De'Aaron Fox?
No.
See,
it
he doesn't
Jer-
play.
Yes.
Jeremy
That's who
Grant.
I was gonna guess. I was gonna guess De'Aaron Fox, but you said he doesn't
It
play in
was
California.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander
Okay.
on the number
Yeah.
1 seeded Timberwolves.
See,
Oh.
nope, Thunder. See, I was gonna guess De'Aaron Fox, but you said he didn't play in Cali.
Am I
I
up?
I didn't know
Thank you.
SGA
J-
defended like that.
James, you're up.
James is up.
Oh, you don't need to be a great defender.
What's left?
NBA
Allen
100,
Iverson.
200, NFL 100, Ben U 300.
Ben U 300,
Allen
please.
Iverson led the league in steals forever. He's got a good.
All right. Who leads the team in three-point percentage at 42%? Now, they must have shot at least 10 threes this season. To
Ryan
win.
Salmons.
Correct.
Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Correct.
Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Green
outstanding.
shooting 50% on the
Yeah,
year.
he's 1 of 2.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't hurt, I bet he'd still be shooting 50%.
Yeah, probably.
What's left?
NBA 100, 200, NFL 100.
I'll do NBA 200.
NBA 200. Who's leading the NBA in points this season at 35.3?
Ooh.
It's very close.
Yeah.
There's a 1 and a 2.
Yeah. The 1 and the 2, I guess I'll spoil this for you guys. It's either Joel Embiid or Luka.
Yep.
I think it is Joel because when I looked at ESPN, he was averaging 36.1 the other day, so I will go with Joel.
Correct.
Yep. Because, yeah, that's fire, bro. Because he's unreal.
He is.
He's ungodly. Too bad he's not going to get
play,
MVP.
Yeah, he's not going to play them.
Unreal, man.
That can be another
First time
discussion.
ever.
That'll be part of the
Luka's
discussion on.
0.7
Yeah.
points
Yeah,
behind
Joel Embiid's going to be the first player
Luka
ever
just scored
in the NBA who won't
73.
win MVP.
Yeah, we'll talk more about all that on Monday with our NBA guests. So if you're locked in for NBA, get ready for Monday.
So I think Johnny officially won.
He did, but we're going to finish.
Yeah, let's
Tanner?
finish.
Wait, what's left? 100 and 100?
Yep.
Therefore,
NBA and
I
NFL.
believe I
NFL.
locked up second place.
Yeah, you did.
That's correct.
For the first time ever.
That was
on.
back to back. I think
Come
we
on,
tied,
baby.
I think we tied last week.
Bro, you got to get better, bro.
NFL. I mean,
I'm just
Wrong thing.
his pen is way across the room at this
All right,
point.
Tanner. Who led the NFL in passing yards this season with 4,624 yards?
I don't know if I know this.
I don't think. I mean, C.J. Stroud.
No, he missed too many
Incorrect.
games.
Banner.
Yep.
Just so I can be first, you know?
I feel like if you say Banner, you should have to go like right away.
Bro, I'm still on the clock.
You get 10 seconds.
just
as a
press,
little
man.
rebuttal.
I'm just going to say Dak Prescott.
Incorrect.
Yeah, that's a really good guess.
Thanks.
Doesn't
matter,
Brock
that's
Purdy.
wrong.
Or Banter.
Incorrect.
Brock
Nah,
Purdy.
he had way.
Tua
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
Yeah, that makes sense. He did
Valid.
have the leading
Valid.
receiver.
Yeah.
With,
All right, James.
what did Tyreek Hill have? Like 1,700 yards this
he
year?
He did some
All right,
crazy stuff.
More.
last question.
NBA for 100. Who's leading the NBA in assists with 12.5?
Tyrese
That
Halliburton.
is correct.
Yep, thank
Uh,
you.
Yeah, Tyrese, another guy that might not make All NBA because of games missed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he actually has a legit injury.
legit
Joel
injury.
just sits out.
Yes.
I'm sure there's something going on with Joel Embiid.
Congrats to Johnny.
Yep.
Back on
And a
top.
bigger congrats to James.
Bigger,
Congrats
second
to
place.
Hey,
man. First
hey.
loser, but who cares, man?
What were the final scores? Same amount.
800, 400, 0.
Tough showing for the kid.
At least Purdue won yesterday.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a great game.
That's all that
Yeah, it
matters.
was good. Great category.
Hey, by the way,
Shout out
love
to
these
Al.
categories
Great
much better. I
categories.
feel like I'm in every question, so
Yep.
this might have to.
I made him way easier.
Dude, next time do Benedictine golf, and we'll.
Oh my- James Keck is every answer.
No,
Put it
I'm
down.
not. We'll get gritty.
If you guys made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for Monday. We're going to have a new guest on the show. Or for, I guess, Tuesday's episode. We're filming it Monday. But again, if you guys made it this far, subscribe, like, turn on post notifications. That's a
Oh,
new
that's a
one.
new one.
Send it to somebody, and we will see you on Tuesday.
See ya.
Peace.